Well, hey there everybody, and welcome to another tutorial from Adriel Partners, helping you grow your business through better messaging, marketing, and sales. I'm Philip, and today we are going to be looking at how to add a new blog post to your WordPress website. So the first thing you need to do is to log in. You can see I've already put in my username and info there. That'll take you to your WordPress dashboard. Now your dashboard might look different. In fact, I'm sure it will. This one has Monster Insights Analytics plugin there. It has the Showcase IDX Real Estate plugin there. By the way, if you're interested in those, let me know. I can help you get set up. But all WordPress installations will have the same basic navigation on the left. Now we have some extra items like flipbooks and an SMTP mail plugin, but we also have our dashboard, our posts, our media, our pages, our comments. We also have appearance and plugins, users, tools, and settings. Those are all the standard WordPress links. So today we're going to go to posts. So going here, we'll see that here's our other options in the posts menu. I could click all posts or just click on the main heading there and it takes me here. Now, these are the three different blog posts that we currently have on the blog. Just a quick note on terminology. Sometimes people use the word blog incorrectly. They say, I need to go write a new blog. Well, you actually need to write a new blog post. Think of a blog like a newspaper or a magazine, and within that container, I think the newspaper is probably best, you have different issues or items of content that come out in it. Your blog is the big picture container for all the different articles that you're going to put in there. So that said, let's look at a new blog post. To do that, we simply click the Add New button there, and that will take us to this page. Now, another thing to note, the newer versions of WordPress, and this is a newer version, come with a different editor. It's called the Gutenberg editor, and it's a fine editor if you're used to it, but a lot of people prefer this one, which is the classic editor. If you've been using WordPress for a while, this is what you're used to. And if you have a newer version of WordPress and it doesn't look like this, you can activate this by downloading the classic editor plugin from the WordPress plugins repository. In fact, I'm going to show you really quickly how to do that. If you go to plugins, you can go to Add New, and that will take you to the WordPress plugins repository. If you search, you can just look up Classic Editor and hit Enter on your keyboard, and it'll show you, in this case, we've already added and activated that plugin on this website. So that's if you want to use the older edition of the editor. Now, like I said, there's nothing wrong with the new one. It's just what you're used to. So we're going to go back to the posts page and give you one more note to consider. We're going to add a new post, a new blog post. You could do some of these things with the Divi builder. This is using the Divi theme and the Divi WordPress builder. You might be using another builder like Elementor or Beaver Builder, perhaps a different theme like Ocean WP or Astra or GeneratePress. And if you don't know what those things are, don't worry, it probably doesn't apply to you. The bottom line is I don't recommend writing a blog post in the builder simply because typically you don't need to. The purpose of a blog post isn't to create a new page on your site that's really unique. It's to put content out onto your blog. So that said, we're going to say Hello World Demo Post, and that's a terrible headline, but it makes it work. This is our title, and then this is our content. Now, if you've ever used Microsoft Word, then you're going to have some similar features here. Notice, by the way, it created the permalink automatically. The permalink is the address or the URL where people can access your blog post directly. Now, sometimes your website might look different. It might have a different structure for its links. But the nice thing about WordPress is it auto-saves and it creates that permalink for you. Notice on the bottom, you can see a draft was saved at 10:06:50 p.m. Obviously, that's not this time zone because my clock says 6:07, but that's neither here nor there. All right, once we're in this editor window, now we can just say, hello world. This is a test of the WordPress blogging interface. We can type, notice by the way, it will not autocorrect. You might have a plugin installed on your computer that will, but I don't. So we can type whatever we want, and add fun things like, all right, let's make a list. Let's see if we wanted to add a list of things. Well, there's a couple ways we can do that. The easiest way is to just start with a list. You'll notice up in the top you have different options for ways to format your content. In fact, let's do that here. I'm going to call this my main heading. And notice it just gets bigger. Now on your site, it will probably look different than it does here. This is to give you a basic idea of how things are going to look, but I'll show you how it looks on the site in just a few minutes. We could take this and we could say, oh, this is really important. I'm going to highlight and bold this right here. I can make this italics like that. Notice these are just very simple text editing features. But I'm going to put in a bulleted list, right? Just click that and notice it automatically indents and adds a bullet, just like you might see in other things. So we could say this is option 1. If you hit enter, option 2, and let's get one more, option 3. We could say really important. Notice that even within the list, we can still make formatting changes like that. Now, I'm going to hit enter again, or return on my Mac keyboard, but I'm going to do it a second time, and notice that now takes us down to another line. So we've exited this list. If I want to add more to the list, I could do that. I just click anywhere in here, hit enter, and it generates another one. Option 1.5. So there's lots of options. Now I'm continuing to edit, and let's say that I wanted to add something else like an image. Well, the good news is that's really easy in WordPress. All you need to do is click the Add Media button, and this is going to take you to the media interface. Now, throughout WordPress, you're going to see a similar window. You have this this box here. Technically, it's called a modal, and you have two main tabs. One of them is the media library that shows you the other files you've already uploaded to this website. But there's also the Upload Files tab, and that lets you add new things to your site. So for instance, I can click the button and I can navigate to wherever I want to get my picture from. But there's another thing that's really easy. Notice it says here, drop files to upload. So I'm going to do that. I'm actually going to open up a window here. Again, I'm using a Mac, but the same principles will apply on a PC. And I'm going to move this out of the way so that I can still see this. As long as I can see anywhere in this window, I'm good. And I'm going to take this and I'm just going to drag it. And notice the entire window turns blue. This is a reminder that you actually have a lot of surface area you can work with if you want to drag and drop files. I drag it, I let go, and notice right now it zooms up and it shows me a preview image of the file that I just uploaded. A couple things to notice, by the way. This will tell you your file size. Kilobytes are good, megabytes are bad, typically. It'll show you the actual dimensions in pixels. This is 1920 by 1280. And these are important things to keep in mind. Ideally, you don't want to go uploading huge files to your website and just squish them there. Ideally, you would use a graphics program or something like that to make your files smaller before you upload them and only upload the file sizes that you need. That said, there are image compression plugins you can get. A good one is called Smush that you can use if you don't have the ability to resize photos on your own computer, but that's for another day. Anyway, we're going to insert this. Now that we've uploaded it, we're going to insert it into the post, and notice how it will just show up right there. Now, what I'm going to do now is there's other options here that really don't need to worry too much about for this kind of basic tutorial. This is just designed to get you started. I did want to show you that there's a button up here where you can toggle more options for your toolbar. Right? So you turn that off, you have fewer options. Turn it on, you have more options. And there really are a lot of options. So for instance, I can type in color. I can actually go here, and here's my text color. And if I click the down arrow, I get some options. I can make this a nice purple color. I could click the options and go to custom and really dial in what I want. And by the way, once you've picked a custom color, you might want to use that again. The easiest way to do that I've found anyway, is to use this number here. Now this is called your hexadecimal code or your hex code or your hex value for that color. And notice when I drag around the slider, that changes. Bottom line, if you copy that and paste it somewhere else and save it, or just write it on a post-it note, you can duplicate this exact color anywhere else on your site that there's a color picker. So just something to keep in mind for consistency. It's a little small, so I'm going to make it larger. Ooh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to underline this. That sounds like fun. Haha, just kidding. No, I'm not. There are ways to underline things if you start going into the code, but that's really beyond the scope of this tutorial. By the way, that's what the code looks like. If you click on text, this will show you the actual HTML code that's being generated by the visual editor. In fact, that's where I could click on that, and it actually underlined it. So, or did it? I don't know. Yeah, unless you really know what you're doing, I wouldn't worry too much. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not underline. That's unordered list. Silly me. That's what I get for putting code into a visual editor tutorial. Anyway, notice my color was lost, so I'm going to select that again. It saves the last color I used, so I can just click that. There you go. All right, there's just, you can clear your formatting if you don't want to keep it. You can insert special characters if you want to put in something like a copyright symbol. Copy in 2020, Philip Gonzalez, Adriel Partners, right? We can put special characters in. And here's a really important one. You can undo just with this button. You can also undo with your edit button in your browser, unless, of course, it doesn't let you. So, all right, well, I stand corrected. Different systems sometimes behave different ways, but I'm using the Command Z. You could use Control Z if you're on a PC. But this will move you backward. And then say you go too far back, well, you can use your arrow button to go forward and redo the things that you undid. So this is just a basic idea of kind of the blogging options you have. Well, you can center text, center it here. You can have things that are aligned far right if you really wanted to. I don't like that at all. And one other thing to notice at the moment, you can play around with these different settings and just see what they do. And that's really a great idea if you're learning the blogging interface. But here's your link button. Notice it has an icon of some little chains. Everything we've selected is now going to be a link. And we're going to call this https philipgonzalez.com. And we'll hit apply. And notice a couple things happened. Notice that this changed color. Now that's natural because in WordPress, your links are usually set to turn to a different color. If you want to change that, you can still select this and you can click a different color and it will change it while the link will still be there. Notice when I put my mouse on top of this, in the bottom left-hand corner over here, watch how the address pops up. If I click in the middle, a little pop-up comes up that shows me the ability to edit this. I can go to options, right? So let's say you want to go to an external site. You want to click your options and it'll say, hey, should I open this in a new tab? And you'd say, well, yes, that sounds fantastic. Thank you. So you can click that. Now when you go to that link, it'll open up in a different browser window. We could select a different item and make it a link. And if we wanted to, we can actually click the little gear icon. And instead of typing a long website URL, we could actually pick something specifically here on our site already. So let's say we wanted to go to another blog post. Well, you can do that. Of course, if you're going to another post in your site, you probably don't want to open that link in a new tab. So we're just going to click that. And once again, here is my long URL, but it was generated automatically because I was going to a site. Going to something on my site. Now, one thing to note, I clicked this little clear formatting that took away my bold, but the color remained. Again, because when you create a link in WordPress, typically the color is defined somewhere else in your site. And if you know what you're doing, you can change that default, but perhaps you're not super familiar, so the easiest thing is to just make it black again, or gray, or whatever the rest of your color options are. All right, these are some things that are specific to the Divi theme, so I'm not going to go into those. I did want to note that there is a distraction-free mode, and if you click this button, notice how the arrows point outward. If you click that, it takes away these other things so that you can just focus on writing. right? So this is my wonderful post. Oh, forgot my capital there. And you can engage that distraction free. When you're ready to be distracted again, just click the button. Or you can put your mouse over here to access something quickly, and then you're good to go. I'll turn that off. There we go. All right, rounding out our little tutorial, most of the things down here below the writing area are things that you don't need to worry about on a regular basis. But on the right-hand side of your screen, there are some things that you want to keep in mind. We're not going to worry about the Divi page settings. This is stuff that if you wanted to change the layout, you can. So if I don't want to have a sidebar, I could turn that off. There's navigation options here. Sometimes you just want to leave it as default, but that's up to you. But the publish box, which by the way, if you don't see it, it could be minimized. Notice these little arrows. The publish box is going to give you some options. We can save our draft to make sure that we don't lose our changes. Again, WordPress auto-saves typically, but it's good to get in the habit of just saving the draft. We can preview what this is going to look like by clicking the preview button. And this will give us, look at that. This is the title of the post that we put up here in the title. And here is the author of the post, the date that the post was, well, posted. This is going to be the section, the category that it was assigned to, and this will show you the comments that were posted. And again, these are all set with your theme. Your website is configured whether to show these or not. These are not things that you typically have control over at the blog post level. If you want those changed, you can talk to your system administrator or web designer. But notice that this is the category that this post was filed to. It's in the category about the area. If I were to click on about the area, it would actually take me to another page that shows all the posts that are categorized about the area. Now on this website, we only have one category, and you might have some things like that. So what we're going to do is we can add a new category. I'm just going to call this demo posts. And you can click add new category. And you can add your new category. Sorry, I had to go tell my 3-year-old to not come in because I'm recording. So you can add a new category, and notice that it will actually add this post to that category, but it retains the old one as well. So we're going to turn that off. We only want this in one category. And then you can add tags. So tags would be things that people could search for or sort by. So this could be demonstrations. You separate them with commas, by the way. Notice it tells you that. Hit a comma there. And this could be world post. This could be tutorial content. And then I'm going to click add. And notice it shows me these little tags here. So for instance, if you're doing something for this site, this is a real estate site, you might write an article about a new condo development, new condominiums that are coming up. And you could add the category might be something like new, let's add a category, new construction. Yeah, just leave new construction. So we'll just add our new category, and we're going to turn off demo posts. But we would also want to say the big picture category is new construction, but this post is about condominiums. This is about retirement living. This is about golf course, communities. You know, you could add a whole bunch of different things. You could add Acme Development Company. These are all different tags that you could put that relate to the content of the post. And then you have typically one main category that it would be filed under. So this is something as you're writing more blog posts, you want to keep that in mind because that's going to help you sort your information and it's going to make it helpful for your users as well. So your save draft, your preview, we talked about your categories and your tags. If you keep scrolling, you can choose a featured image. As some themes make a big deal of the featured image, so I'm actually going to go ahead and just pick the one that I uploaded and select that, and you'll see what that does here in a minute, I think, if it's optimized. It's been a while since I messed with this particular theme. So there's our featured image, and this is going to be basically the main image that you want to use to illustrate what this post is all about. You don't have to have a featured image. but it's often considered good practice. One last thing, we have some publish settings here. You can publish immediately, which is the default. You can also click this edit button and you could post in the future. Or alternatively, you could set a date in the past if you wanted to just kind of make the dates a little nicer or something like that. But I could set this up. Notice the button here says publish, but I can set this to March 26th, click OK. Notice the button changes. Now it's going to say schedule. And if I click schedule, then this post will not go live until tomorrow. It's handy if you want to do a bunch of blog posts at one time. I'm going to take that out. We're going to click publish. And now look what happens. Now previously, we went to this archive page. Remember that we clicked the about the area. Now I'm actually, I was gonna say refresh it and it'll show. Oh, you know what? I can do that. Yeah, I'm gonna refresh this archive page. Okay, notice it shows the new category, but it doesn't show our post. Why? Because we're still in the about our area category. If I click on the new construction category, notice that it shows our Hello World demo post. Now, this content is a summary of the post itself because this is an archive page. If we went back to the About the Area page, you'll notice this is a summary as well. And this has a little ellipses here. You can click the button and it takes you to that entire post. So once again, on our new construction category, we can read our post either by clicking the image or by clicking the headline, and that'll take us to our post. And here it is. Here's our featured image. Notice it shows at full size. So if you want an image that's a different size, you should probably upload an image that's a different size. And here are the customizations that we made. Here's our green text. Here is our little link that we created. And we're going to click that. Notice it opens in a brand new page, which I particularly like this. That's me. If you want to have stronger relationships, better business, greater success, go to philipgonzalez.com. A little shameless plug there. Here's the image that we added, and this is my wonderful post. So there's a quick overview. Let me show you one more thing while I'm thinking about it. If you want to make some changes to your image, you can do that. When you click on the image, you'll notice that it gives you these little handles. You do have the ability to drag those handles and resize. I would encourage you to be careful with that because images in WordPress can be resized using code, but that doesn't mean you're going to get the best quality. Something to be said to keep an eye on the right things. Notice it says a custom size. Well, you can change this and you can choose full size, which is the original size that I uploaded. You can choose large, medium, or thumbnail. These are automatic photo dimensions that WordPress creates for you. It actually creates versions of the image. And if I click that medium and hit update, notice it's back down here. I'm gonna actually click this. I'm gonna make a small thumbnail, right? And here's one reason why this is helpful. Let me go real quickly, and we're gonna go back. And, oh, by the way, notice we don't have a sidebar here. The reason we don't have a sidebar is because we went up here in the page layout. We said no sidebar. I'm going to add that back. I'm going to update that. Anytime you make a change to your post, you want to update that post. Good news is, unlike newspapers, once it's printed, you can still fix it if you made a mistake. We're going to hit refresh or reload. Notice we have now. Here's our sidebar again. Anyway, I'm going to go to the About the Area page. I'm going to click on this one just because I wanted to get a big block of text to show you something you can do with it. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to go now back to this. And just for fun, I'm going to take out this stuff here, and let me show you something really fun. I'm going to delete these and delete that. I'm going to paste. And here's all of our text that we posted. Let's say that you wanted to put this image as an illustration of the content that you had here. What you can do is you can actually grab it and drag it, and you can put it in a place like that. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. What are you doing? Oh, I'm eating my words. Why is that not working for me? All right. You know, sometimes even the best laid plans of mice and men. Here's a better way to do it, right? Remove that. pick where you want to put your image. And I'm actually going to put it on the front end of this block of text. So I've put my cursor here, it's flashing. Now I'm going to click the Add Media button. And then I'm going to click the image. But watch this. I can actually scroll down and I can choose in advance what size I want to pick. And I can also pick something called alignment. Now I can choose that here, but I'm going to show you on the page what we do with alignment. So first I'm going to insert this, all right? Now notice it just stuck the image right in the front, and that's not very pretty, is it? No. What I want is for this image to go to the right of this particular block of text. So the way to do that, now I've put my image in the front of this block. I'm going to click it, and now I'm going to click this button here. Notice when I put my mouse on top of the option, it gives me a tooltip, a little pop-up that tells me what this does. When I click this button, notice how it floats over to the right, and it gives me that nice look that I want. Let's say that I wanted to have it be on the left. Well, I could click it on the left, and once again, there you go. It's on the left. Now, sometimes you do have to fine-tune what you're doing, right? So push that down. You know, when you get into more advanced blogging, sometimes you want to, you know, I held down Shift and hit Return if you want to go a little bit down. So for instance, if I hit my Return key or my Enter key, it goes down a whole line. But if I hold down Shift and then I hit the Return key, it goes down half a line. It can get tricky to really dig into micromanaging your layout, and I would encourage you to look up other more advanced tutorials. This is more of a basic, but just wanted to show you some things that are possible. And I can update this, and notice now that I've updated that, I can view the post, but I'm just going to go over here and I'm going to click on it this way. And notice that my image is still here because that was the featured image. But now I come here. Oh my goodness, look. It's not quite lined up the way I want it, is it? No, it's not. And that's part of the tricky part about trying to get really specific on your layout. One thing that you have to remember, the web design is not print design. Things change. So notice as I pull in my page, things flow in a certain way. That's why probably the first thing I always encourage people to consider is you're not going to get everything exactly the way you want, so get over it. Have that mindset shift and you'll be a lot happier. But if you can get it 80, 90% the way you want it, then I think that's a pretty good standard to set. So I took out that extra image. Now notice, here's that. It looks better there, doesn't it? It's aligned on the top. Yeah, that's not bad at all. Not bad at all. So there you go. There is your rough overview of how to add a blog post and make some changes in WordPress. Hope that's been helpful for you. And as always, if you want more ways to grow your business through better messaging, marketing, and sales, visit us online at adrielpartners.com, where we are here to help you grow. Thanks for watching this tutorial. Hey, if you liked it, I'd love you to leave a like or a comment or subscribe. Any of those things are great. And I look forward to seeing you next time right here. Thanks. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.